And just so this is just the traveling whole industry. There's millions of things that we can dive into. This is really just giving an inside scoop to what travel life is really like, right? It's not all rainbows and butterflies.
Off the surface. And
so it sounds kind of like a fairy tale on the surface. And so we really just wanted to dive in to show you what it's really like so that you can feel like, is that sound good? Or I don't think so. And that's what this is really.
And there's a lot of people that are in our group, right? So you guys know a lot of the nitty gritty of what goes on in the travel world. Again, this actual presentation, this talk, this teaching was just supposed to be for those people, like Kim said, give you the nitty gritty, down to earth. Like, if I'm on the fence, what is it like, and stuff like that. That's what we want to do with this teaching. That's what it's all about. So, first things first, who is traveling for and who is it not for, right?
For everybody.
Big question, because a lot of people don't really talk about this, and that's something that Kim and I really pride ourselves on, because we want everyone to travel. I'll say it again. We want everyone to travel because it's amazing. But unfortunately, even if you have all of your lifestyle, everything's set up good for you, you might be single, your kids might have left already, you're ready to go, and traveling works, it might not work. That's what we're trying to say. It's not for everybody, even if your life is set up.
The lifestyle that we live is very different, and that's what we're going to kind of get into a little bit.
Right, and so, for instance, the lifespan of a traveler is usually around 1 to 2 years. Now, that was a stat that's not a firm, set-in-stone stat. That's just kind of like around the industry, what people are talking about.
Street talk.
I have been noticing that there are a lot more travelers that have been doing it for longer. At the time, Kim and I were the exception to the rule, but we're seeing nowadays that people just love it so much, and so they're doing it for longer. But I always said that, a lot of people would find permanent jobs, because that's what people do as they travel. They go around, they travel like, I like this area, I like this area, I like this area. I would live here. They get offered a permanent job because they did so well in the travel assignment, and that's where they settle down. Or they meet somebody at their assignment, and they're like, "Hey, boo, like, what's up?"
Yeah, they get it.
Right. They end up falling in love, or they become felons because they get really good at packing up and leaving a city. That they're like, "Damn, I can make more money robbing banks because I can be up and out of my apartment in a matter of like hours." So
totally. Everything that we own, we have 2 suitcases and like a bin for like kitchen stuff and like some random shit. But like everything literally fits in the back of our Toyota Camry, and we can be in and out in a matter. When we left San Diego, it was like literally 3 hours. But that was like to pack everything up, to get it organized, to clean up, like out in 3 hours.
Yeah.
So we've gotten really good at that. I will say in the beginning, we didn't start that way. We had 2 vehicles. Erran was towing my car on the back of his truck, filled with hot pink bins filled with God only knows what we had
Christmas
in there.
lights, Santa suits, like all sorts of stuff.
You get better as you go. You learn as you go. And we've obviously been able to whittle down a lot more, knowing what we truly need on the road and what we don't.
Yeah.
Another really unique thing about traveling is that it gives you this opportunity that you get to see other parts of the world, or of and the world if you are like us, and we travel all over, but of the country. So like, for instance, when we were living in Florida full time, we knew that we didn't want to live in Florida for the rest of our lives. So we didn't know where we wanted to move. We're like, oh, Northern California would be great, or New England would be great. But like, to pick up and just move and take permanent jobs is like very overwhelming, So to be able to take short little contracts all over the place, you get a sense for like, oh, I love this place, I might stay longer, maybe I will go permanent here. And you can kind of like feel out, your spot in this country and what feels good.
Right.
That being said, after traveling, I don't think I could ever go full time again.
Never.
But that's just me. I just like the freedom.
Usually we see that as well. People that were full time and then went to traveling, they always say that. People that come straight out and they've just been traveling, feel like, oh, it'd be cool to go full time. So it just kind of depends on where you're at.
What you want,
But so basically, some people love it, some people don't. Some people do 1 or 2 contracts and they're like, I'm done. Some people are in it just to make a whole bunch of money for a little bit of time and then get out. Some people do it, they leave their families at home, and one of the husband or wife or whatever goes and does a contract and comes back home, makes a bunch of money, but they're separate. There's just a lot of different things, moving parts of the travel industry.
Yeah. 100%. Okay, so here's the kicker. The first thing to really think about
actually.
What?
You know, I was just thinking about this. So
All right.
I actually felt this way. You know, Kim and I took 3 contracts. The first 2 were super, super exciting. Took a third one, really exciting. We drove across the country. By the 4th one, I was like, oh, dear God, I have to move again. Like, I don't feel like packing up my stuff. I don't feel like, you know, driving around, moving into a new apartment, doing all these things. And so I started to feel that weight after the 3rd one into the 4th. And it's funny because then you get the opportunity as well to, you know, hopefully the number one compliment you can get as a traveler is to be asked to extend. And I was asked to extend a lot at that next contract. So it allowed Kim and I to be in the San Francisco area for a longer time. And I didn't have to run, you know, I have to run crazy and have to pack up and go again. So again, it's just a totally different way of living.
Yeah. So that being said, you're kind of leading right into that. The first thing that you have to think about is that when you sign the contract to live this traveler's life, you will actually be traveling. Like, it sounds kind of like duh, obviously, but you will be picking your life up and moving from place to place to place every couple of months. Okay. Typically a contract is 13 weeks. So you will be living your life in motion. You will be moving to a new city, finding a new place to live, packing up your car, learning how to drive around town, like learning your grocery store, your gym, all of the things, right? You will move there, get settled in, get comfortable, and then out the door you go again. And so you are living in motion, and that's half the fun. I love to be able to live in all of these cool cities and go to all these like amazing places and spend a few months and then move on to the next. But like Erran said, after a little bit of time, sometimes that can feel a little bit
overwhelming and
tiring. Like, we got to pack up again. It's a process. It's a whole process. And so that's something to really think about.
Well, and now, you know, after that 4th one, we extended for a little bit, and then we realized how much we love traveling. And then what we did was we actually talked about it. And we're like, what can we get rid of? How can we trim the fat? How can we make this easier? Because we absolutely love it, but it was just other stuff that was weighing us down. And so that's what Kim said before. Like, you get really good at it, and you start to realize how fast can we be in and out of here, which then takes a lot of the weight off of us after the contracts. Now, like we said, we're the perfect felons. We could be in and out in a matter of hours.
And we've been traveling for over 6 years, so it's taken quite a bit of time to figure out the best method for us. But traveling light and simple is going to be way easy. It's easier to pack up a suitcase or 2 and hit the road than it is to pack up a whole house or the whole thing. But something to think about, you are going to be transitioning every couple of months. Yep. Another thing to think about is that